Habemus Papam.
The moment the announcement was made, currents consulted Monsignor John Strynkowski. He worked in Rome for 8 years and was around for the election of Pope John Paul I and Pope John Paul II. But even he was surprised at what followed. The next successor of St. Peter was Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Buenos Aires. I caught up with Monsignor Strynkowski today to relive that historic moment.
I was quite surprised, because he really had not been mentioned as a potential candidate or pope, given his age. Remember that he had already sent in his letter to Pope Benedict saying that he had turned 75 and therefore was resigning. So his letter of resignation from being Archbishop of Buenos Aires was sitting on somebody's desk in Rome.
Monsignor Strynkowski believes that in the meetings before the conclave, the cardinals came up with a clear idea of the man that the church needed.
They were looking for a pastor, I think. They wanted someone who would have a pastoral approach. St. Francis of Assisi had been told by the Lord, rebuild my church. The Lord was giving a broader mandate in terms of renewing the church according to the spirit of the gospel, especially according to the spirit of simplicity and poverty. And I think that Pope Francis, his mission is to renew, you might say, the spirit of the church in terms of reaching out to, especially to those who are marginalized.
Monsignor Strynkowski has been continually impressed by the Pope's actions, from paying his own hotel bill to consulting 8 cardinals for decisions. But one action trumps it all: the moment that the new Pope first asked the people for prayers.
But first I will ask a favor. Before the bishop blesses his people, he asked that you pray to the Lord to bless me. That was a very dramatic moment. But what impressed me was the silence that came over St. Peter's Square. The people took that very seriously. And it was a beautiful moment, because in a sense the people were responding to his election and to his plea for prayer. And now remember that on every other occasion, when he meets with crowds or just a few people, he always says, now pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. He recognizes that this is not something he can do by himself, that he needs the church and he needs the Lord.
Looking back over this past year, I want to know, was Pope Francis the man for the job?
He is definitely the man for the job. The Holy Spirit was truly present and active in the midst of the cardinals. And I think this first year has been a very good sign of what's to come.
Reporting for Currents, I'm Katie Breidenbach.